Hello everyone. This is a video that I made of me carving this print that you'll see me making in the video. I usually post all this stuff on Instagram as like short little reels, but in this case I wanted to make a longer video that actually explains what's happening here, which is good. So we start with like a nice lino piece, which is just a piece of like plastic for those who don't know. And then the transferring method that I use to get my image on means that I have to sand it first because it has like oil and residue and it's not really flat and whatever on it. And then one of my favorite things that I've started doing recently with this lino, because it's generally you get it like grey, but this one's not grey, this is nice cream colour, which means I can do this, which is dyeing it. And a nice little cut to me having cut it down to the image's size. I much prefer this lino to the grey one. The grey one's a lot more like plasticky and like, I don't know, stringy. But here you can see my design that I made and printed on a piece of paper. And then the process that I actually use to apply this, you don't see because it's kind of ass and it doesn't look good, but I basically apply like a layer of glue onto the lino, and then you glue this page like face down onto it, and then afterwards you get rid of all the paper and you're left with the printed like pigment, I guess, from the paper that's just left there, because it's a flat thing that's on top of the paper, even though it might not seem flat. That's why it's all different like levels, and you'll see there's certain places in this where I had to draw in with like a marker because a lot of the values were lost and I would have gotten very confused because it's a fairly intricate piece, this. Yeah. This piece is great. I like it. It's fairly different from what I've done before, because before I was making a bunch of my work from the perspective of, oh, I want to make something that people will enjoy. I want to make something that someone will want to like buy. But I feel like that's the wrong place to be making stuff from. And I wanted to make a carving, a piece that just expressed like a kind of a flow of energy, a flow of state. And I think this does a good job. And it's turned into a very interesting piece. I mean, it's got a very interesting like energetic flow. I enjoy like the line weights that I used and the difference between like positive and negative space, which is really highlighted through the print medium itself. Like, I feel like the relief print, which is what this is because I'm carving into a block, is that's what you're doing, is you're highlighting this difference between positive and negative in order to get this image. And I mean, I like images, I like illustrating. It's one of the things that I'm fairly fond of, you know. That's what started my love for art and things, is like ink pens, ink drawing, making a clean line. And printmaking is kind of an embodiment of that. But the thing with that is, you fall into this trap of like, oh, I need to make a very readable image. I need to make an image that like someone can understand, like, oh, a funny little guy, or like a tree, or like a wave or something, right? Listing my prints that I've done. But this is kind of a step into making something that's not so easy to understand at a glance, that you can have more of like a, I don't know, think about it, it's a different feeling, it's a bit more abstract. And by being abstract, it's trying to capture this, I don't know, some other kind of feeling that's not so just given to you when looking at this artwork, which I like, and it's an interesting step forward. I'm looking forward to making some more stuff like this, but it's also great to be able to talk about my works now in a different way, because with the Instagram stuff, like, it's very quick. People are very brain rotted, myself included. Like, I'm surprised I'm holding up speaking over this for as long as I have already, but I guess thoughts come to the surface. But yeah, I don't get to speak like this about my stuff on Instagram. It's more about like, I don't know, trying to get the views and trying to show people what I'm up to, which is good, because I mean, a lot of people see it there. There's nothing wrong with that. It's a good tool to be used, but it's great to be able to talk about like what I'm up to. Yeah. yeah, these carvings generally take like a good amount of time to do. It's yeah, it's fairly something, right? And I think whenever I show people, like quite a few people, this, they're like, no, there's no chance I could sit there and do this for that long. But I find that it's like the whole drawing thing and like hatching and things. It's like it inherently takes a long time, but it's kind of a meditative, calming process of yourself versus, I don't know, your want to go and rather do something else. So it's interesting because they're great to do. It's fantastic carving, and as I said before, I really like the quality of this liner that I'm working on because it carves so nicely, and then you get this lovely contrast between the orange, the black, and then the what I've actually carved, which becomes like white or the cream color. Yeah, doing these edges for this thing is kind of funny because yeah, it's very easy to like stuff up and then you carve away like a big portion of what you're up to. I enjoy the shot where it looks like nothing's changed and then you just freaking get rid of all the outside. So this is me cleaning off the excess glue and the print on this thing now, because it's sitting there, like you can't print it like this, it needs to come off. And you have this great process, the first time I've recorded this, you have this great like reveal of the orange underneath the image, and it really lets you see what you've actually done. Because with these kind of images and stuff, it's very easy to get like an illusion of, oh, I think it looks this way, but then it actually doesn't. That is also a printmaking moment though. There's a lot of inversions like that you gotta think of. Yeah, some of these spots don't come off because that's what I drew in with the marker, which is kind of unsatisfying, but it's great. I think this is, yeah, look at that, it's come out pretty good. So for a lot of my other prints, I was using Speedball Professional, like literally what you're seeing here, but I got the one I was using for my other prints like ages ago, and it actually thickened up a lot, to the point where like I didn't realize that it wasn't in the state it was like supposed to be. So I ended up getting this new one that works a lot better. It's way smoother, it applies way nicer, and yeah, this is just me inking up on a glass plate that I got. I found actually, but it's good. Only thing is, like, I'm keen to get a much bigger roller. This roller that I'm using is just a hand, like, Berea, I think they call them. It's just a hand roller, and it's good, but it's small. It's very small. And I really want to use, like, the two-handed big ones that look like a rolling pin, but they are very, very expensive. So that's not happening for an amount of time, at least. And here we have the inking up. So something I realized in the inking up of this, not that it's on the camera or footage, that I have footage of it at all, is that the table I'm doing this on is uneven. So you'll see there's a spot in the middle, like top of this thing, where it's just not inking, and that's because there's actually a dip in the table, which is kind of annoying. So I had to go and do that like separately. So I need to keep that into consideration. I'm surprised I didn't notice it yet, because I've done a few prints in this table. So you can see there that area is just refusing to ink up. And here we go to the press. I was actually really stupid here, and I'm very stupid generally with my things. It's like, I kind of eyeball the registration. You can see I've put like the tape on the outsides, but I cut this paper to size of the print, which means you can see here I missed actually. And I had to do a couple of prints before I managed to do this one that was somehow perfectly like centered. And here's the fantastic reveal that I'm sure everyone likes. I mean, look at that. Boom. Some good stuff. Overall, I like how this print came out. It's got a good variance between the lights and the darks. Nice qualities to it. And it's a step of my work in a new direction, which is cool. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed, leave a like. If I know you, then thank you very much. If I don't, then welcome. Hope to see you more in the future around here for whatever I get up to.